My phone buzzed at 10:47 p.m., and my stomach dropped before I even read the message. I had sent the text, the wrong text, the kind you send when you're tired, lonely, and joking with a friend, except this one had gone to my boss. Then her reply appeared on the screen, short and calm, like the quiet before a storm. "I'm coming over to your place now." For a second, I couldn't breathe. I sat on the edge of my couch, staring at the wall, thinking about every possible way my life could fall apart in the next 10 minutes. Before the story really begins, if you enjoy real-life stories that make you feel something, stories about mistakes, second chances, and the quiet power of kindness, please subscribe, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. You're watching your channel name, and your support helps these stories reach more hearts. Now let me tell you what actually happened that night. I was 32, living alone in a small apartment just outside a mid-sized American city. Nothing fancy. Beige carpet, second-hand couch, and a kitchen light that flickered when the fridge kicked on. I worked as a project coordinator at a marketing firm, decent job, good people, and a boss who scared me in that quiet, professional way. Her name was Linda, mid-40s, always composed, always kind, but not the casual kind, the kind that made you want to do better just by standing near her. She remembered birthdays, asked about your parents, and somehow gave feedback that didn't crush your soul. That night, I was texting my friend Jake. I had just gone through a rough breakup, and Jake was trying to cheer me up with bad jokes and worse advice. I typed a message meant for him, something playful and sarcastic about needing a distraction and wishing someone would come over and save me from my own thoughts. I hit send without checking the name. Linda. The moment I realized, my chest tightened. I reread the message, hoping it would magically change into something harmless. It didn't. I panicked and typed an apology so fast my fingers hurt. I explained it was meant for someone else. I said I was sorry. I said it wouldn't happen again. Then came her reply, "It's okay. I'm coming over to your place now." I checked the time. Almost 11. My heart started racing. Was she angry? Was she going to fire me? Was this some kind of test? I thought about not answering the door. I thought about pretending I wasn't home. I thought about every bad scenario my anxious brain could invent. 10 minutes later, there was a knock. I opened the door slowly. Linda stood there holding a paper bag. She wasn't dressed like she was going to a meeting. Jeans, a sweater, her hair pulled back like she'd been relaxing at home. "I hope this is okay," she said gently. "You sounded like you were having a rough night." I stepped aside, still in shock. She walked in and set the bag on my coffee table. Inside were 2 cups of coffee and a couple of slices of pie from the diner down the street. "I wasn't sure what flavor you like," she said, "so I got apple and cherry." I didn't know what to say. I stood there, feeling small and embarrassed. Finally, I blurted out, "I'm really sorry about the text. That was unprofessional." She sat down on the couch and looked up at me. "You're human," she said, "and humans make mistakes. Sit." So I did. For a moment, neither of us spoke. The quiet felt heavy but not threatening. Then Linda said, "When I was your age, I once sent an email complaining about my boss. To my boss." I laughed despite myself. "What happened?" "He called me into his office the next day," she said. "I thought my career was over. Instead, he asked if everything was okay at home. That moment changed how I lead people." She handed me a cup of coffee. "You didn't send that text because you're careless," she said. "You sent it because you're hurting." That's when something inside me cracked open. I hadn't cried since the breakup. I'd been holding it together, telling everyone I was fine. But sitting there, with my boss offering me pie and understanding, I felt safe enough to be honest. I told her about the nights that felt too quiet, about how the apartment felt empty, about the pressure I put on myself to always be the reliable one at work, even when I was barely holding on. She listened, really listened. No phone, no interruptions, just nodding and letting me talk. "I'm not here as your boss right now," she said softly. "I'm here as someone who's been through hard seasons too. We talked for almost an hour. About work stress, about relationships, about how easy it is to think you're alone when you're not. She never crossed a line, never made it weird, just showed up with kindness when I least expected it. Before she left, she stood by the door and said, "Tomorrow at work, we'll pretend tonight never happened, except for one thing." "What's that?" I asked. "That you know you don't have to carry everything by yourself." The next day, nothing changed on the surface. Same meetings, same deadlines, same professional tone. But something inside me had shifted. I started noticing how Linda treated everyone. The intern who messed up a report, the coworker going through a divorce, the quiet guy in accounting who never spoke up. She met people where they were, without judgment. It made me think about how often we assume the worst when mistakes happen, how quick we are to punish instead of understand, how rare it is for someone to respond with kindness when they have every right not to. A few weeks later, I paid it forward without even realizing it. A new hire on my team missed an important deadline and came to me shaking, ready to quit. I remembered that night, the coffee, the pie, the way Linda had looked at me like I still mattered. So I told the new hire, "You're human, let's fix it together." Months passed. Life didn't magically become perfect, but it became lighter, warmer. I started reaching out instead of shutting down. I checked in on people. I forgave myself more easily. And every time my phone buzzed late at night, I still checked the name before hitting send. I never told anyone at work about that night. It stayed between us. But its impact stayed with me. It taught me that kindness doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's just showing up with coffee when someone is scared. Looking back, that accidental text could have been the worst moment of my career. Instead, it became one of the most meaningful lessons of my life. Kindness doesn't erase mistakes, it transforms them. So if you're watching this, and you're worried about something you messed up, or you're carrying a quiet fear no one knows about, remember this. One kind response can change everything. One moment of understanding can turn shame into growth. And if you ever have the chance to respond with kindness, especially when it would be easier not to, take it. You never know whose life you might be steadying in that moment. That night, I learned that kindness isn't weak. It's powerful, it's brave, and it's something we all have the ability to give.